Thanks for joining us on Primary Perspectives, radio created for kids by kids. Hi everyone, it's time for Primary Perspectives, radio created for kids by kids. I'm Yanni.
I'm Harry.
And I'm Caitlin.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you're enjoying the first week of the school holidays. I know I am. Well, that first term sure went fast. I loved my new school this year. How about you, team?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
It was amazing for me.
Well, today Primary Perspectives has gone national, and right now last week's show is playing on stations around Australia, and later this week will also be podcast on earthpreservers.com and our own site primaryperspectives.info. So there are now heaps of ways you can catch the show. Today we are really excited to welcome our new teammate Caitlin to the show. You may remember Caitlin joined us last month as a guest, and now she has joined the team. Today Caitlin will be telling us about a fantastic project called the Dance Cancer Initiative, which she has been involved in for the last 6 years. Welcome to the team, Caitlin.
Thanks, Miani and Harry. I'm so excited to be here. We also have a great guest joining us in the Veggie Patch today. Shortly we'll be speaking with Pete the Permie to find out just what permaculture is all about and how it helps create sustainable designs for living in both homes, gardens and even towns.
Sounds great. And we will also be joined by 13-year-old Olivia, who is passionate about dancing, just like you, Caitlin. For anyone who missed last week's national and international debut show, we heard from 11-year-old Pavan Raj Gowda, all the way from America. Pavan has joined the Primary Perspectives team as our first ever global roaming reporter, and what a fantastic interview he recorded with Jim Callahan, founder of Climate Change Education in the USA. The team also spoke with Steph McKenzie from Animal Tracks, who shared some very cool facts about some very cool creatures. Yep, we really love hearing all about Steph's reptiles, especially Jerry the goanna, who likes to watch TV.
Well, I'm definitely going to jump on our website when I get home to listen to the show, Harry. I missed it last week. We also have some very cool wonder words to keep your brain in shape and impress your family, friends, teachers, maybe even a dancer or two. And in Diffuse the News, this week we find out about the entrepreneur 8-year-old Marble King and a man in India who planted a whole forest by himself, and a city in Spain with a great idea to reduce cars in the CBD.
Hey, we always love to receive your comments and messages, so jump on primaryperspectives.info or send us an email to kids@wwmn.net and say hi. We'll be right back after this music break with Pete the Permie.
I'm a compost chef and my name is Tones, and I do all my cooking in my garden, not my home, cause here in my bin I can make a big mess, and Mara sometimes helps, he's the other compost chef. I'm a chef, a compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess. I'm a chef, a compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess. We've got to get ingredients for this new brew, so I tell Mars rubbish is needed for our stew. He comes with some rubbish, but is it what I want? It's plastic and wood and other hard junk. Hey Mars, I say, this isn't much good. My worms can't eat all this plastic and wood. They want lunch leftovers sprinkled with grass, leaves and manure and scraps from the house. I'm a chef, a compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess. I'm a chef, a compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess. A little bit of meat, but not too much, or ravenous rats will come and munch and crunch. Now to finish off, Morris, my man, would you get me some water in that watering can? I'm a chef, a compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess. I'm a chef, a compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess. I'm a chef, a compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess. I'm a chef, the compost chef, and I cook a good brew, then clean up all the mess.
Grab your gumboots, cause we're
off to the Veggie Patch.
track was The Compost Chef by Songs from a Children's Garden. Now it's time to find out exactly what permaculture is. This concept, which comes from the combination of the words permanent, agriculture, and culture, means a lot of things to a lot of people. Originally, permaculture referred to an agricultural system that works in harmony with local ecosystems. Over the years, it has grown into a larger lifestyle philosophy and a global grassroots movement, devoted to preserving resources and meeting all human needs, including food, shelter, and transportation, in a way that is sustainable and respectful of the earth. To find out more, we are joined by permaculture expert Peter Allen, aka Pete the Permy, who runs the Telopea Mountain Permaculture Centre and Nursery. Welcome to Primary Perspectives, Pete.
No worries, thank you for having me.
It's alright. First of all, Pete, can you share some history about permaculture? Where did the concept come from?
Well, the concept actually came from Tasmania, where two gentlemen named Bill Mollison and David Hunter were down there in the university. And they came up with the concept, and they put out a book called Permaculture 1, which was the first one, obviously. And then David went off to produce his property called Meliodora, which he then tested the theories that he wrote in the book. While Bill went off around the world, particularly to countries that didn't have a great lot of resources like in Australia, and he developed what they call the Permaculture Design Certificate, where people teach each other how to do the things, the primary principles of permaculture.
Wow, that's great. Hi Pete, this is Miani here. Permaculture has become a very popular design foundation in many countries around the world. Why do we need permaculture?
Well, I think humans need permaculture so that we take time to think more about how and where we get the things we need to live. We need to design for these things in our system so that when we do them, they don't hurt the world, they actually help the world a little bit along the way at the same time. There's over 1 million permies now around the world trying to help other people live off the land in a way that doesn't hurt it.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Considering it started with two guys in Tasmania, that's fantastic.
It's one of the intellectual things Australia has given the world.
Yeah. Go the Aussies.
This is Caitlin, Pete. How does organic gardening blend with permaculture?
Well, one of the biggest problems with producing food, especially when it goes to supermarkets, is that you use lots of water, lots of the nutrients from the earth, and lots of transport. When we grow at home or in your school, you can reduce all of these and control the amount of chemicals that are used. So, therefore, when you run them chemically free, you save lots of things, including fish in the waters and stuff like that. So, growing your own food organically or biodynamically, or even just using the no-dig method, means that it's much simpler to do and keeps it close to home.
Whoa.
Cool. What sort of roles do animals play in permaculture?
Very important ones, the most important being worms, because everything that's a waste from our food systems, everything once living, can go into worm farms. They cycle that back into nature's food for plants. Then, of course, on our farm we have milking sheep. Now, they have lots of jobs. Like everything in permaculture needs to have a lot of roles to play. So our milking sheep, we can milk them. They have new little baby lambs, which you've got up in the paddocks at the moment. And then they mow around the orchard for us. They do that instead of a tractor. Then, of course, they also reduce the fire risk for us in summer. Then the chooks, of course, they eat the pests and they provide manure for the compost heap.
Wow, that sounds awesome. How does recycling work in permaculture, Pete?
The same as in anything else. Things like your aluminium cans and all that, instead of maybe recycling them, sometimes we'll prefer to refuse to use them in the first place. So take our own packaging, buy things without packaging. The main things we try to recycle are going to be water and the nutrients in the soil. So this means that we might take our waste crops and put them through into animals and turn them into manure into a compost heap. One of the main things we're trying to do is never let anything leave the property as waste.
Oh yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. How can we use permaculture at home or at school?
Well, growing food locally, making your own compost, saving waste. So in the school you could be drawing up your yard or your home and then work out how could you better use that space. Where could you put some food? Maybe grow some stuff in pots, herbs and things like that. Could you fit in some animals, either a worm farm or a chicken, stuff like that. So it's very easy to do it, and the most important thing is about designing it, so actually drawing it. And that can even help in subjects that you might not think, such as science or in maths. You can work out how much do you need, that sort of thing.
Huh. I never thought that permaculture could help you with your maths.
Yes, well, how many chickens do you need to feed your family?
Oh, yeah. Good point.
You need the same as you need for a pot of tea. You need one for each person and one for the pot.
Yeah.
That's true.
Does it cost much to set up at home?
It could cost nothing. One thing about Australia is we have things like hard rubbish. We have lots of waste products from other systems that we can reuse. So yes, you can go out and buy expensive things if you like, but you can usually do it with virtually nothing, and that's where the permaculture works really well in communities where they actually have nothing to spend and waste on, say, building nice beds and things like that. So you can do them with whatever you have normally.
Whoa, it's a great cause and it doesn't cost a cent.
That's it.
It's great to be able to recycle everything and keep it going, not just recycle it once and then chuck it away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The more times you can recycle it, the better off you're going to be again.
Yeah.
Where can we learn more about permaculture?
Well, there's lots of stuff online. You could go to the Permaculture Research Institute, or there's good books around, such as Ro Morrow's book called Earth User's Guide to Permaculture. There's a really good version of that out now. It's been redone. And she did a lot of work overseas in countries in Asia that didn't have hard rubbish collections. So actually making beehives out of the resources of there, hollow logs, things like that. Being able to make gardens out of what is in that community. If there's no trees, then we can't use timber to do things. So I think that's a really good book, nice and simple to read. It's often used by people who have poor reading and writing skills. So it's nice and simple even if you can read properly, you know.
Yeah, that sounds
good.
great.
Yeah. Pete, how does a perma-blizz work?
The permit blitzes were started by 4 people in Melbourne, once again in Australia, and it's now in Africa and some other countries, New Zealand, I think, next week with the Permaculture Conference.
Wow, that's a widespread.
Yeah, it's already spreading. It's only been out about probably 4 years. But these people started a system where they do a little bit of a design on someone's property, and then up to 30 people come and they take out the things that aren't wanted, or weeds, things like that, maybe trees that aren't wanted and not productive. And then they'll put in a whole heap of fruit trees and the veggie patches and get everything up and running, a bit like your backyard bits on telly, except it doesn't cost $10,000. And then if you've done 2 of those as a helper, then you can put your name up to have your property done.
Wow,
And then
that
30
sounds
people
great.
come and help you.
Cool.
So it's an easy thing you can do in schools. That's how you can get your school project happening. Use things like the permablitz.
Well, you've mentioned chickens a few times in this conversation. What's so important about them in permaculture?
I think chickens have probably the most diverse amount of uses. They're good for pest control, so they help clean up all the pests on fruit trees. They can be used as a chook tractor system, so when you finish with your veggie patch, you can put a little fence around it, put the chickens in there, and they'll turn it all over, eat up all the seeds and all the weeds and all the leftover things, because we only eat a little bit off those veggies, off the tomato plant. They'll eat the rest of it and turn it into manure, dig it back into the ground for you ready. Then you only have to leave it for a while to let it rest, and then you can start to actually grow again. So they're a very, very useful animal.
Yeah, they sound great. So
And they give you eggs.
they stop your plants from dying, and then in doing that, they allow you to grow more plants in the future with the manure they create.
And that's the whole concept of permaculture.
Whoa.
It's about planning that if you want to put something in, you've got to think about what does it need, what's its requirements, what is it going to give you, what is it going to do? Is it going to be good things or is there bad things? Like chickens aren't all good. Put them into your veggie patch where you've got all your nice straw on there, and the straw will be everywhere except in your veggie patch.
Yeah.
So you've got to think about all of those things, right? No point bringing in, say, a goat to put into your veggie patch or your fruit tree system.
Yeah,
But
they'll
maybe
eat
a
it all
sheep
up.
or a duck could be a better thing.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
about permaculture for house designs?
Well, permaculture isn't inventing everything. It's taking the good things out of what's always happened in old cultures and in the new cultures, new technology. So passive solar design, good house design is very fundamental to permaculture. Not just for a house, though. Think about a shed, think about where you work, think about your chook pen. How you design it. We design how to design the chook pen so that it works the best it can without needing as much help, any help if we can help it. So no heating, no cooling, no ventilation. That can all be designed into it.
Oh, yeah, cool.
How do you use grey water?
You use grey water mainly, I think it's not so good to use in vegetable patches. Certainly you don't use it with anything that grows underground. It must be covered with the mulch or something. But I'd prefer to use that on the rest of the garden and on fruit trees, because in fruit trees it's not going to get up to the fruit. It's only going to feed the tree. So the soil deals with it and the mulch deals with it.
Fair enough.
And you always only ever use grey water downhill.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, if you're going to push it uphill, what's the point?
yeah.
Yeah, you're wasting resources. See, it's a lot of it's about energy and saving energy.
Yeah.
Whether that just be your energy too.
How about reed beds?
Reed beds are a good way to clean up. Yes, any reeds in Australia will clean up the water and use the nutrient that's in excess in there. Because if that ends up in the waterways, then you get algal blooms, fish dying, things like that. So reed beds clean the water up first, turn it into vegetation, which you can then cut off and put in your compost.
Whoa.
Feed to animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could permaculture be used on a massive scale?
Yes, absolutely. You can design an island, you can design cities. Yeah, so it's more about trying to design things to be fair and equal and share the surplus rather than one big corporation or government owning everything and taking everything.
Yeah.
It's about putting it all back in and sharing it around so that everyone has food to eat, everyone has a place to sleep,
Yeah. Well,
without taking it off someone else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if Australia builds a new city, it's all around permaculture.
Yeah, well, there are people now doing permaculture design certificates who their job is to design new estates. So now when they're
Really?
designing new estates, they're actually thinking more about these things, particularly in Queensland.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll spread. It happens in other countries around the world, particularly Germany. They're very good at it.
Oh yeah. Cool. Thanks so much for joining us today, Pete. You certainly know a lot about permaculture. Just before we wind up, how did you first get involved personally in this movement?
I think the first thing that got me into it, I started reading Grassroots magazine over 20 years ago, particularly reading about chickens and growing things. And now I'm a writer for them. I write about fruit trees in Grassroots magazine.
Oh, whoa.
Turns
Wow.
full circle,
Turns out
once
great.
again recycling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Oh,
so
well,
much.
Thanks,
Enjoy.
Pete.
I certainly learned tons.
Okay,
It's been great. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
That was so interesting. You learn a lot on this show. Hey, team.
Yeah.
Sure do.
I learned tons from that segment.
So now it's time to stretch your brain and your vocabulary with this week's Wonder Words.
Coming up, it's time for this week's Wonder Words.
Yes, it's time for this week's Wonder Words. My word certainly shows why we should all embrace permaculture. My word is acid rain. Acid rain looks and feels just like ordinary rain, yet it contains high concentrations of sulfuric and nitric acids, which are pollutants created mostly by human activities, especially the burning of coal in power plants, just like the new one that has been approved for Victoria. How crazy is that, folks?
That's ridiculous.
We've already got enough bad stuff, bad pollution-y stuff in this world. Like, more? What's the point of that? It is more generally referred to as acid deposition because the chemicals are deposited in various forms, such as in rainwater, fog, snow, or dry material like dust or smoke. Acid rain has been known to reduce fish populations, cause decreased growth and dieback in forests, and to damage buildings and even the coatings of automobiles. For humans, it can mean asthma, bronchitis, and heart trouble. So you have to wonder why we still burn coal for power here in Australia when there are so many renewable options available.
Wow. That's definitely not the kind of rain I'd want to dance in. That's for sure, Harry. And I do love to dance. And that's one of my key words for you guys today. It's choreography. Choreography is an art of designing sequences of movement. Choreography can also refer to the design itself, which is sometimes expressed by means of dance. Notation originally taken by Greek words choreography means dance writing. A choreographer is someone who creates choreographies. The term choreography first appeared in the American English Dictionary in the 1950s. Before this, movie credits used different terms to mean choreography, such as ensembles, staged by and danced by. Choreography is used in many fields, such as cheerleading, cinematography, dance, gymnastics, fashion shows, ice skating, marching bands, show choir, theatre, and even synchronized swimming.
Wow! Speaking of dance, I have another couple of dance words for you this week. My first word is phrase, which is a passage of two or more measures of music. A phrase is a specific tune or melody. Most pieces of dance music consist of two or more different phrases, each designated by a capital letter. Any phrase can repeat within the piece, from phrase to phrasing. Phrasing is the fitting of the steps and figures of a dance to the recurring patterns of music. If phrase A recurs in the piece, then part A of the choreography repeats at that point. When phrase B occurs, part B of the choreography is performed, and so on. So Caitlin is up next after this music break to share her story on dancing for cancer. And our next guest, Olivia, also knows a lot about dancing.
Oh, wow! Oh my gosh, I can't believe school's over, finally. Now we can do what we want. Come on, guys, it's summertime. Let's go!
To appear, it's summertime, and it's finally here.
Summertime, which was written and performed by our very own teammate Caitlin, and what a great track to dance to. Now I'm really excited to also welcome my friend Olivia to the show. Liv is a keen dancer too, like you, Caitlin, and she is joining us for a chat today. Hi Liv, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Minnie. It's great fun to be here in the studio and talking to the world. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you guys and finding out about Caitlin's DCI program.
Hi Liv, yes, thanks for joining us today. I wanted to share with everyone about the wonderful program called DCI, which stands for Dance Cancer Initiative. I have been involved with DCI for 6 years with my talent school. DCI brings together dance groups from across Australia to perform in a non-competitive environment. The show is filmed and later broadcast on Foxtel's Aurora Community Channel. All money raised on the day and from the broadcast is donated directly to the Cancer Council Victoria from their endless good work, including research, counselling and wellbeing programs for people with cancer.
Wow, that sounds like such a worthwhile cause to dance for. Why did you get involved personally?
Well, more and more people are affected in some way by cancer, either directly or by knowing someone who has been battling cancer or is battling this disease. As a performer, I can do something to help give back to those diagnosed with cancer. I got involved as a part of this with my dance school, and now I'm dancing for my grandmother.
That sounds fantastic, Caitlin. What do you think has been your most memorable moment from being involved with this great project?
Well, it's really heart-touching when you realise that you're actually dancing for something that's really common in the world and you just feel good about yourself.
Wow, that sounds like a great cause to dance for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How can dance schools who have never participated before get involved?
Well, they can go on their website, which is www.dancecancerinitiative.com.au, and that's how they can get involved.
Oh, cool.
How many dance schools were involved last year?
I'm pretty sure there's about 50 schools, and this year there was way more than 50 schools because more people came.
That's great. There's an increase in
People who care.
in people who care about such a worthy cause.
What age do you need to be to join in this event?
There's no age limit, you just have to enjoy dancing and just have fun on stage.
What are some of the different styles of dance you have seen participate, and what styles of dance have you done with your dance school?
Well, these are both what I have done and what I have seen. Hip-hop, lyrical, acrobatics, ballet, jazz, every style that you can imagine. And I know all of these from my dance school.
That's pretty cool.
That sure is a lot of people getting involved in a good cause. Do you know how much money this event raises?
I'm not quite sure exactly, but I think they'd raise thousands of dollars every year.
Wow. Can you volunteer to help at this event even if you're not a dancer?
Yes, I'm pretty sure if you go to the website, which is www.dancecancerinitiative.com.au, and you can probably get into it. And more people that get involved, the better.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. How can people at home make a donation?
Well, they can go on the website, as I said before, or they can go directly to the Cancer Council.
So, how did you get involved in it? Did you just randomly start, or was it for your school? Or?
It was through my dance school.
That's pretty cool. So, Liv, tell us why you became a dancer.
To be honest, I don't really know why. I suppose I always thought it was something to do, and it was always something that appealed to me. And I've been doing it for 7 years now with Kicks Dance Studio, and yeah, I love it.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great when you find an interest.
Yeah.
Well, as some may know, I'm a huge sports fan, and I guess dancing is really like choreographed sport in a way. Do many boys participate in DCI, Caitlin?
There is lots of boys do participate in DCI with their dance schools, and it's amazing when you see boys dancing because normally boys don't really dance. It's normally just girls. So
Yeah.
What's your favourite type of dance that you like to do?
my favourite type of dance would have to be jazz because I love how it's always up tempo and it's never just slow.
Yeah, I'm the same too.
We really admire your commitment to helping people with cancer, Caitlin, and thanks for sharing about DCI.
It's time to diffuse the news.
I found my article on the fabulous site dogonews.com. Is it our imagination or are kids getting smarter by the minute? First, there was a 12-year-old tech prodigy, Thomas Suarez. I'm pretty sure.
Suarez.
I can't pronounce his name. Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name. Suarez or something.
Suarez.
Now an 8-year-old has just rolled himself into the Book of Records as the world's youngest founder and chief executive officer of a successful internet company. Harley Jordan's aim to fame began at the age of 6 when he discovered marbles. He became so obsessed with them that his mother nicknamed him the Marble King. He would sleep with them and even take him to school to show his friends and trade with his friends. When some older kids took away his entire collection, the young boy appealed to his mother to get him another stash. However, when his mum tried to order some from the internet, she was surprised to find that there really wasn't a central place to buy marbles. That's when the 6-year-old's entrepreneur spirit kicked in, and he convinced his mother to set up a website and sold the just marbles, thinking it may be a good way for him to learn about money. His mother said yes, and marbleking.co.uk was born. To her surprise, orders started pouring in, and the rest, as they say, is history. Today, the young tycoon who lives in London is so busy with orders that he has hired his mother and 2 brothers to help out. Just like a true entrepreneur, he has increased his selection so that it ranges from ordinary marbles to limited edition solitaires that cost over $800, which is just about 772 Australian dollars. And he is not done yet. The young boy who dreams of having the world's largest marble shop is now trying to convince his mother to make custom name marbles with the Marble King logo. We have a feeling that, like all the other ideas, this one too will be the big success. We just wonder what the brilliant entrepreneur will do when he grows up.
Way to go, Harley. I wonder what impact marbles have on our environment. Maybe we could suggest Harley designs a recycled glass series. I bet they would sell well too. My item is also courtesy of dogonews.com. Most of us want to do our share in helping reduce global warming with small things like generating less trash, taking shorter showers, or turning off unnecessary lights. However, very few of us do anything that can make an impact on the entire world, simply because we believe we can't do it alone. Turns out, where there is a will, there is definitely a way. You may remember 13-year-old Felix Finkbeiner did it by spearheading a global tree planting movement, and now there is India's Jadev Payeng, who has planted an entire forest single-handedly. Now in his mid-50s, the nature lover was one of the labourers who worked for the Social Forest Division of Assam's Golaghat district to create a tree plantation on a sandbar that lay in the middle of the Brahmaputra river back in 1980. The project, which planted over 200 hectares, that's 494 acres of trees, took 5 years to complete, after which all the labourers were sent home. However, Mr. Payeng, who is nicknamed Mulai by the locals, decided to stay put and continue the effort. He nurtured the trees that had already been planted while continuing to add more. Over the years, the Mulai forest has grown to 500 hectares or 1,235 acres and is home to 4 endangered tigers and 3 rhinoceroses, as well as hundreds of deer, rabbits, apes, and birds. In addition to that, every year a herd of 100 elephants visits the forest for about 6 months and even gives birth to their calves there. Besides extending the forest, Mr. Payeng, who lives in a small house on the outskirts with his family, also helps protect the endangered residents from poachers. The amazing part is that the nature lover who makes his living selling milk from his herd of cows and buffaloes has never received any help from the government except for occasional tree saplings from the local ministry. In fact, they were not even aware of his amazing forest until 2008, when they were trying to track down a giant herd of elephants that had destroyed some property and found them hiding in the Mulai forest. The government is now refocusing its efforts on the area and planning to extend the forest out another 500 hectares. There is also a movement to get the government to declare the Mulai forest a mini animal sanctuary. Mr. Payeng says that if this happens and he gets assurance that his forest and its dwellers will be well protected, he will move on and restart the planting process somewhere else. Now that's dedication for you. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Meanie. We need more Mulais in this world. Here is another great article from earthpreservers.com about an excellent initiative in Spain where you can trade your car for a free lifetime bus pass if you live in Murcia. In a bid to end congestion, a Spanish city has made its citizens an offer. Give up your car and ride our buses and trams for free, forever. People love their cars. They're willing to maintain a car even when it's expensive and difficult. So in the Spanish city of Murcia, which had become crowded with vehicles, the government decided to bribe people to give up driving by offering a little economic incentive. Not only would you not have the inconvenience of trying to park, but you could also ride the city's public transport for free for the rest of your life. To promote the campaign, the city made a series of adorable advertisements showing how unpleasant it is to be stuck in traffic and looking for parking all the time. And just in case some Murcia residents hadn't noticed how annoying it was to have a car in the city, they also started leaving cars in impossible parking spots. For example, they positioned cars on top of others in high visibility areas, just to make the point that there are simply not enough parking spaces. After seeing that, I bet a lifetime trolley pass looks quite enticing. Lots of cities have campaigns to encourage public transport use, but this is an example of using city funds to directly influence how people get around the city. A lifetime trolley pass is probably a minimal cost for the city, though if enough people took up the offer, it could make a drastic difference in the livability and level of pollution in the city.
Yes, well, that's definitely a very good idea. I know I certainly would, assuming I had a car at my age, but I know I would certainly do that because it's a great way to reduce the amount of excess carbon and all the pollution we put into the air. I think it's really important that we reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah. Murcia must have great public transport services because that's the only way it could work if if the city had absolutely fantastic public transport services.
Yeah.
Free transport. Wow.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal.
And I have to pay to get on a train and a bus in the morning. Let's go.
Sounds pretty good.
If only.
But you'd have to plan ahead a lot though, if you wanted to be able to fit your normal daily lifestyle in.
Email us your ideas and messages to info@wwmn.net.
Happy Easter and have a great holiday, everyone. And just something to think about this Easter before you bite into some yummy chocolate is that a lot of cocoa beans throughout the world have been harvested by children slaves or stolen children in places like West Africa. So please remember to look for fair trade or organic chocolate this Easter, or whenever you buy chocolate, and help make a difference. Would you want to be eating chocolate harvested by a child slave as young as you?
I definitely wouldn't be.
You can Google Chocolate the Bitter Truth on YouTube if you want to know more. Or maybe call your favourite chocolate company and ask them if they can guarantee in writing that chocolate is free from any source of child slavery.
Good idea, Caitlin.
So tell your friends around Australia or around the world that they can listen into Primary Perspectives, the choice for fun and education, radio created for kids, by kids. Bye for now.
Catch you next week.
See ya.